I've been calling out Pearl, man. What the fuck is going on, dog? Why you going at Pearl, bruh? Why you going at Pearl, man? Let me see what this shit talking about, dog. I'm definitely curious what smoke they got for Pearl, man, because I've been preached don't strike me as like motherfuckers do this shit for attention, like, you know what I'm saying? It must be something going on, bro. They be giving pretty based ass assessments of situations, bro. They not no haters to me is what I'm saying, so I don't feel like they hating for clicks, you know what I'm saying? But this is gonna get clicks because it's Pearl and she popping, so let's go.
If this was Pearl's world, I'd get rid of birth control. I'd ban it, but that'll never happen. I think that's the root of all evil. And I'd actually go for the root of all evil.
The root of all evil.
That's what she said.
Okay, my girl.
Say it.
I don't think women should know.
Huh?
I don't think women should know. I don't think women should.
I thought she was being sarcastic. They'll put some truth to it because of how birth control has fucked women up in the head, and the whole voting thing about how, like, you know, voting gives women responsibility without accountability, some shit like that, right? Like, they can vote, but they ain't gotta go to war or whatever. Like, she's bringing it up because of that, but I think that still has some, like, sarcastic undertones to it. I don't think she literally meant it that way. That's just my 2 cents. But let's see what the fuck they got to say.
But Jesus, keep on going.
Yeah, that's
no
it.
Women, you can't vote. No birth control. Keep it going.
No, because it's always freedom without responsibility.
Yeah,
I
so,
love
like,
it.
the
Women
reason
should not
No,
vote.
but
Pearly
I'll
said it
tell you,
herself.
I'll tell you why, though. I'll tell you why. Because it was freedom without responsibility.
I love
and before women, like I believe in consequences for your decision. So the men know if they vote someone batshit crazy into power, you guys get drafted. We don't. Women decide elections. We're 55% of the population. I think if we want to vote, equally draft us. Y'all want equality. And personally, I don't want to get drafted, so I'll be in the kitchen.
Wait, hold on. I thought she was crazy. I think she has a point.
Go ahead.
She's talking about equality.
Sure.
That's just what the birth control thing. Hey, yo. But I understand where she's coming from with the drafting thing.
Well, I mean, they don't understand birth control fucked women up, though. But my bad, this is for them.
Hey, yo. But I understand where she's coming from with the drafting thing.
2 hours later.
No, it's not because they don't. It's not because they vote and they don't get drafted that they don't suffer the consequences of not being what. Nah. So yeah, no, I got nothing. I really tried.
Why don't you just say women should get drafted? This whole idea of like you shouldn't get voted to get drafted.
No.
First off, when's the last time a draft happened? Been what, 30, 40, 50 years? Okay, that's 1. 2, you act like when people get elected to be politicians, they don't enact laws that negatively impact strictly women. What, you think a birth control ban wouldn't affect women primarily?
No, it's not just men.
What do you think, an abortion ban doesn't affect women primarily? Right? There are plenty of laws that a crazy batshit politician come in and enact that would primarily only affect women. But you just pulled up drafts, which is like something that rarely, if ever, happens. And then you're just using that to say they should lose their right to vote. And the birth control thing was so crazy to me. It's like,
well, I get that. I'm too informed on Pearl's content, so I know where that comes from. Right, because she talks about like the birth of feminism. One of the causes for it is that, you know, women wanted to vote, but they didn't want to go to war. So that's why she constantly brings that up. You know what I'm saying? But like present day, you know, that does make sense because we haven't had a draft in a minute. But hey, by the looks of the present climate of society, draft may not be too fucking far away, bro. Because, you know, shit is going on right now. You know what I'm saying? And I wonder, you know, how that would impact women if they knew that they were going to get drafted.
Argument for the birth control, I guess, is because of birth control, women can now be more selective, and so it's worse for society. So they want to remove your ability to choose. And here's a problem, okay? This girl's a really popular red pill creator, and people sent me this link because the dude in the interview was acting retarded. And to be fair, in the interview, she was making a lot more sense than that guy was, okay? But I stopped at this part, and I had to cringe so incredibly fucking hard. Because I don't think people realize how crazy red pill folks sound when they say stuff like this and how easily discredits them. I think people should bring back slavery because, like, what? I think women should lose the right to vote. And I think also they should lose their right to some of the biggest invention that brought us to this current age right now. People want to just get rid of because, what? A lot of these folks enter this red pill space and they'll say like, oh, we're not misogynist, we're not anti-women, not anti-women. You should lose your right to vote. And you should lose your ability to have contraceptives. What?
I see. He's out of context, bro. It's out of I mean, she did say that. She did say that, bro. But I can't. It needs more context, bro. It needs more context. I mean, it is crazy to take birth control entirely off the table because birth control is needed. I mean, it's not needed. It was needed back then, but you know what I'm saying, giving women the option is a plus. But there's been so much damage to society that has happened due to birth control. That's why she brings that up. You know what I'm saying? But I understand watching her say that shit entirely out of context can look crazy. Birth control has literally fucked women up mentally. That's why women aren't dateable anymore. You know what I'm saying? Have all the sex and not be held accountable or judged. You know what I'm saying? And you see how women are moving right now. You know what I'm saying? Slut walk, all this shit. Bro, we know this though. We know all of this already. Do I need to dive into all that? You know what I'm saying? There's reasons for why she said it. You know what I'm saying? But to take it entirely off the table is, But, once again, I understand the attack on birth control because that has damaged women severely. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to sex. I'm not talking about periods and, when you take it to actually assist with your health, but just to, be out here throwing the pussy all over the place and how that fucks women up, that came from birth control. Because without birth control, you couldn't do it.
You cannot hold on to the moniker that you guys are not misogynist, that you guys are not anti-women, and then take away some of the most basic fundamental rights to people who not only pay taxes, who not only participate in society as full-fledged adults and have to finance things, listen, whether you like it or not, women are paying their taxes, women are involved in politics, women are helping to make these decisions, they're in managerial positions. It's not like they're here on the side. That's not the case.
And also 51% of the planet.
Okay? So you sit there, you say, we're not misogynists, but people who contribute a lot to society shouldn't have the right to vote is crazy. Because I imagine, if you're really looking at it they don't contribute as much as a man. There's plenty of groups who don't contribute as much as others. Should they lose their right to participate in democracy?
Yeah. I can add on in addition to that. You know what I'm saying? Women do contribute a lot because they spend the most money on every fucking thing. You take them away, it's going to severely impact the economy. You know what I'm saying? But I've never agreed with her taking the women vote away. I understand where that come from. Like I said before, she's always talked about the origin of feminism and how there was women out here who didn't want to vote because they didn't want to go to war. And that's just to highlight an issue that a lot of women have today where women want to do all these things without the responsibility. And that's like a ongoing theme a lot of the times with women. They're allowed to do a bunch of things and they're not responsible for the consequences of them. You know what I'm saying? Like being a slut, birth control, abortions, all that shit. You don't have to deal with what happens when you're a slut. Chances are you can have a fucking baby. Can't be a slut no more. I mean, you still can, but we're having a epidemic mentally with women, the modern women. And you know what I'm saying? They've been beat down by feminism, birth control, abortions, all these things, bro. I know there's gonna be a lot of pushback on that, man, but this would be like a dope debate session, you know what I'm saying, with what he's talking about, bro. And I don't know, maybe it is just Pearl's, intention to take all that shit off the table. That I think that's crazy. You shouldn't take it off the table, but all she's saying is there's consequences for every action, right? And due to birth control or the fact that women can do whatever they fucking want without the responsibility, that's having substantial effects on society now, you know what I'm saying? And it's going to continue to do so. And some of those sources, some of the reasons for that is what Just Pearl has identified, you know what I'm saying, throughout her, podcast and shit, man. So I can take shit from both sides, man. I don't think she's totally wrong. I don't think that. And then at the same time, I don't know the true intention behind what Just Pearl does. You know what I'm saying? I'd imagine she has, men's situations at heart. Like she empathizes and wants to be a voice for men. You know what I'm saying? But she could be out here just throwing shit around, trying to goddamn go viral and shit and saying crazy shit. But it didn't. I'm rambling, my bad. But what she says doesn't strike me as crazy because I understand the context of it all.
Poor people.
Only rich people should vote.
Because they pay the most amount of taxes. Is that how it should be? Huh?
That makes sense. Old folks, women, kids. Because if you can, if you're like 12, you can hold a rifle. I mean, you haven't contributed to society yet. You could make that case.
Oh.
You don't vote, you go to war, and the rest fund. Yeah, it's not that bad. Think about it. I think it makes sense. There you go.
It's just This is the kind of stuff that you will see that will come and discredit the red pill folks. And I'm saying this as like, forget me. Let's say a news person pulls up a media hit piece, okay, on red pill folks. They're gonna play this clip.
This was Pearl's world. I'd get rid of birth control. I'd ban it. I think that's the root of all evil. I don't think women should vote.
And their audience is gonna know that red pill popular people are saying dumb shit like this, and it's gonna discredit everything. This is not like a
yeah, but they can do that with anybody though. I'm sure they could do that with Abba. They could do that with Preach. Take shit out of context. You know what I'm saying? Even though that wasn't really taken out of context, man. But that's a big problem we have in this world where they fucking take little sections of what people say, pump it up to you know, characterize them, to showcase them in a certain light, which they may not be. But I could use that argument with anybody out here, right? You use that, definitely use that shit with me. You know what I'm saying? You just snip some shit that I fucking said to make me look nuts. But, you know,
wacky take like, oh, you know, like, I feel like women should earn more than men, or men should earn more than women. It's not that. You should lose your ability to vote. Now, you may not care about voting, but understand it is one of the most fundamental freedoms that we have in the free world, okay? You may not care for it, but it is one of the most important. It's akin to telling people you should lose free speech because you're a woman. That's how crazy it is. And if you don't understand how unhinged this messaging is, I don't think people are really listening to what it means to the average person. It's interesting because I'll say like, red pill stands for the truth. Oh, people are misunderstanding the red pill. The red pill's not misogyny. It stands for the truth. Women shouldn't be able to vote. Nigga, you are bugging. You are bugging. Play this clip to 99% of people, and they'll be like, you are bugging.
Facts.
Yes, but
that's a fact.
Peep game. In their way of thinking, that's the truth.
Hey, mind you, hey, look. Like I said, I never said that women shouldn't have the right to vote. That never came out my fucking mouth. I just know why she said it. But if somebody would say women can't fucking vote no more, yeah, that's why part of me thinks she was being sarcastic with that shit, man. And he's like taking it literally.
That women do a whole bunch of crazy things without any repercussion.
Yeah, there you go.
They just do shit. It's wild.
Yep.
And if they do shit and it's wild, and they vote and it's wild, to them that's the truth, and that's why they call it the truth.
Yeah, it's still misogyny.
Yes.
You can't say this is the truth, it's not misogyny,
but it's like
your truth is misogyny.
But it's
because
like
I don't even like using that word because it's so overused. It makes me cringe.
It's like
let's be honest.
Yeah.
If somebody comes out and say women shouldn't be able to vote for this reason, you're gonna be painted as misogynist.
Yes, it's exactly like whenever people their ultra conception of what being a racist is the dude with a little mustache. If you don't,
sure.
If you're not that, then you're not that, even though you do certain things. So people, for them to be a misogynist, you have to delete people, or having the intention of deleting people, or not wanting to have the intentions and because they're not that extreme, they don't want to be painted as that.
Sure.
I think that's why this is happening. And they say, I'm not that. I mean, I love women.
You are.
I love women.
You gotta wear that hat. You gotta wear that hat. That's what you guys are, and not all of you, but the folks who endorsing this kind of rhetoric, yeah, that's what you are. And people ask me, but you say a lot of stuff. Listen, there's stuff that these red pillars say that is absolutely true.
Uh-huh.
You know, when they're talking about hypergamy and the idea that, like, you know, there's some discriminatory practices that women engage in that are absolutely hypocritical, and then they demand to be coddled all the time about their preferences or whatever. It's like, yeah, no. There are some bullshit. And we pointed out, but I would never want to associate with the label because of cringe shit like this, right? Oh, red pill's the truth. Yes, and feminism stands for equality, but 99% of you niggas don't want to call yourselves feminists, okay? For a reason. Because you understand that even though at its root it may be that, you understand the way it manifests in the world and the way that it's marketed isn't that.
That's a
Same
fact.
thing with red pill.
Well,
It's
maybe we should come up with that. That's granted. That's valid. You know what I'm saying? Because I like what red pill means, man. But it has been demonized. You know what I'm saying? Like, only motherfuckers who know what's up are the ones who are already in the red pill community. But like, for those who are all looking at it, they probably look at red pill motherfuckers as, you know, misogynist and shit. So we need to come up with like another term for red pill that's like actual real world shit, and not the toxic shit that is, you know, deemed misogynistic and bad. You know what I mean? I agree with him on that one.
Into a lot of the true things that they say. But guess what? You guys are so fucking cringe online and say so much radical dumb shit that I'm like, I would never want to associate with that kind of branding. Ever. Listen to that. And if you don't understand how crazy that sounds, again, play that clip for most people in the world, and they'll be like, this bitch is crazy.
That's valid. That's valid. Like I said, I understand both sides. And as an outsider who doesn't know, Pearl, and I'm not trying to clean up shit for her. Like, if that's what it is and she meant what she said, she needs to be held accountable, man. Like I say, I just didn't digest it that way because I know where that shit comes from. And I don't really think she believes that women shouldn't have the right to vote. You know what I'm saying? If she really believes that, then that would definitely make me question her motives or her agenda with doing this, man. Like, you're a woman, but you don't want the right to vote. Yeah. But yeah.